children, but not the Dalek. It's the children, but not the Dalek children. It's the children, but not the Dalek children. Because technically he was a Khaled at the time.
A what?
That was what the Daleks were before they were.
Oh.
Right.
So yeah, it's like...
Khaled.
What makes you get a name change?
I don't know. Maybe Davros was like, these. I haven't seen Genesis of the Dalek.
It's sort of remember like in the I guess a couple seasons ago. Oh yeah, 11's exit. It was like from now on we are a new religion.
Yeah. From now on we will be called the Silence. But yeah, were there like independent guys like I'm not sure I'm behind this.
I feel like our old religion was better.
I mean, I know the Pope's infallible, but I didn't realize it was this infallible.
Anyway, I'm Sam.
Hello, I'm Matt.
And we are doing a podcast, but that podcast is not this. We will see how we release them related to each other. But there may be a podcast.
Yes, and so get hyped. We'd be talking about the old Doctor Who.
Starting from the very first episode. But for this, we are looking at Season 9 coming out right now.
Yep. The latest, the two-parter season premiere. So we have not really discussed our full thoughts on it at all. We discussed that in the first episode, and we just watched the second episode. What did you think of it?
It's largely good. It kicks its legs a bit at certain points where we're just sort of waiting around with Davros and the Doctor talking. But ultimately, I find it very satisfying.
Yeah, like looking at both parts in one. I'm a little unsure about how I feel about the beginning with the planes.
The planes? Oh, the first episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about both here.
Because we start with that battlefield.
Yeah, we start with the battlefield, and the battlefield is cool. And there's a biplane shoots at a guy who pulls a bow and arrow on him.
So like that leaves an impression.
Yeah.
When the biplane shoots lasers and people on the ground are fighting with a bow and arrow. Presumably that's either effective or it says something a lot about how one-sided the technology of this war is.
Yeah, well, there was what kind of had happened in the old series in Genesis of the Daleks. They basically it was even a joke about something like this in Discord. They'd run out of guns. Like half of this, like they were really future tech to start, but they've just destroyed half their guns and
like they're out of they don't have supplies and they don't have minerals.
Because this war has been going on for centuries.
That's strangely darkly believable.
Yeah, so that's kind of like when I first saw that shot, I was like, I wonder if this is the Dalek War. After a couple seconds when I see like him pulling out the bow and arrow, I was like, all this stuff. Either this is War World from the second Doctor's run, or like the Dalek World, or it's something new. And it was the Dalek World. That was a problem, because this was an effective story. I like the way Missy has been this two-parter. I never, when she's kind of doing what River did.
Yeah.
Like, show up and be the weird, like, I know stuff about the Doctor, and you don't, you stupid companion.
And also, I make jokes.
And I'm funny, except she's actually really funny. And she's actually kind of dangerous. Like, you expect her, you never really expected that River would be like, and now you're dead.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Moffat, she's a terrible person off screen.
Oh, yeah, you were mentioning that. Like, she commits actual real crimes.
Yeah, actually, and the Doctor just kind of...
Not the murder of someone she didn't kill.
Yeah, not the murder of someone she didn't kill. In a weird, like, just gonna take the credit because she loves him so much. But no, Missy's just awful. That's why I like her so much.
I think there are slight diminishing returns for Missy. Like, none of the huge laughs I had for the second part of last season's finisher. Nevertheless, even though she's not making me laugh like before, I continue to find her dangerous and,
Yeah.
and intimidating.
Yeah, and you're at least interested in her, because after a while, River, I was like, I don't think she's gonna try to do anything.
And she never did.
No, never.
I guess maybe season 6 sort of counts.
Kind of, yeah. But
the thing she tried not to do was not do something.
yeah.
But yeah, regardless, for this episode, we've got Davros back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers. I assume if you click on something to say like review or blog, you should expect some spoilers.
Oh yeah, so Davros is back. I'm the new Who guy of the two of us.
Yep.
So my only experience is with the Stolen Earth and the other one, and I hated those ones. So it didn't really leave me with a strong impression of Davros or a memorable impression of Davros. So it's weird actually coming into this.
Yeah. Well, I could see, having seen a lot more Davros stories, including other ones where he was like, I'm dying, I'm on life support, this is probably, short of Genesis of the Daleks, the best story I've seen Davros in.
Excellent. Well, I feel like maybe it would be helpful for me to have some of that Davros history to appreciate it. Nevertheless, it sort of worked.
Yeah, it did.
I had a little trouble hearing, as I said.
This has been a problem for me the entire Capaldi run. He mumbles.
Yeah, he mumbles, but also Davros, like every time Davros is speaking, he's just, and then the music is swelling behind him. I'm like, could the sound mixer please put some effort into this?
It's like, the guy's like, like, da, 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 da.
I'm like, yes, the composer, you did a great job. Thank you.
High five. This is a high five. This is what that looks like. High five.
So yeah, it was a little hard to hear. So I kind of want to go back in and watch it sometime soon.
With freaking subtitles.
With headphones, probably would clear up some of the problem, but not all of it. But regardless, as for Davros, you go ahead. I've been interrupting you.
Well, the basic, like, I was just gonna say, like, the basic 5-minute summary of what happens.
Yeah.
The elevator pitch, so to speak, is
it's a long elevator.
Gosh darn it, man! Where are we going?
Since we got 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's the first story, it starts where you've got like her doing her being Clara doing like, I'm Clara, I'm teaching kids about what a great kisser Jane Austen is. Then all of a sudden the airplanes just stop in midair, and she's like, airplane stopped. And then her principal's like,
cool.
Hey, the Prime Minister wants to talk to you. She's like, sick day. And she just runs away. And then there's Missy. It turns out Missy stopped the plane so somebody would get her attention. And she's saying, hey, Missy, you're so fine. Via text message.
Yeah, so she's messaging them with hey, Missy, you're so fine. It was weird, though, because no one getting the message was there when she was doing that.
Yeah. So most of them might not necessarily actually know who Missy is.
Yeah. It's a little weird because, I don't know, it took me out for a moment. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I don't imagine Missy actually cares if the audience gets her joke.
Yeah. I mean,
she's just gonna say shit because she's missing.
It felt a little bit weird because it felt like it was directed at us.
Well, like I didn't necessarily see that.
Whatever.
But
minor point, no matter what.
So she wants to get Clara, and she's like, Clara shows up, and then Missy kills like 5 guys, which was very important.
Oh, that was a good scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's the thing about Missy in these 2 episodes. They walk the line because she is basically a good guy. She will continually try to do crazy bullshit, some of which is bad, but for the most part, in most cases, most of the situations of these episodes, she is on the good guy team. Yeah. So what they need to do is not let her villainy decay.
Yeah.
Not make her forgettable. Not make her River.
Yeah. Sorry. So she starts off by killing, like, even though she was killing like 3 red shirts.
Yeah.
We were still like, oh yeah, shit, she's a bad guy.
So yeah, Clara just says, oh, are you a good guy? She suddenly feels obliged to prove
she's not giving us a face turn.
Yeah. And you know what? Because of how unfair it is, you feel the death of those guys more more keenly. It's like it's like stupid. It's like, wait, stop, come on. But
they
she won't
weren't even
negotiate.
like trying to talk to her.
Yeah, there's no sense to it. She could have stopped with one, and it would have made the point. But she would have made her additional point, which is that she keeps going whenever she feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so she's like, hey, Clara, I got this. It's the last will and testament, the confession of the doctor. It's for his best friend. And Clara's like, oh, thanks. And she's like, yeah. What are you doing for me?
I'm his best friend.
I'm the doctor's best friend. Why would you? You're just some random. You're the fucking dog. Forgive the swearing.
This sets up, I think, the line for the. Jeez, what's wrong with me? The thread for the two of them in a way which is very good, because the rest of the episode, Missy is just. The rest of the 2 episodes, Missy is really trying to just fucking screw over Clara. Are we swearing now?
Apparently.
She's just trying to screw over Clara, and I think that was the inciting incident.
Yeah, and it works also because, in a way, like, because her point the whole time, a lot of the time, is like, hey, I know the doctor better than you. And despite what we might want to think, we like Clara. Well, we like Clara. Yeah. Not everyone likes Clara.
Apparently.
Hypothetical audience.
Now that she's leaving, apparently
she's huge.
She's loved by everyone.
Hypothetical audience likes Clara. She's like, this makes sure we're like, oh, I like you, Clara. This person's being mean to you, but she kind of has a point. She does know the doctor better.
And yet, because it's the Master, and the Master has not necessarily got the tightest grip on anything, you also doubt her.
Yeah.
Like, you're like you may know the doctor better in some ways, but in some others, like, maybe you just don't know him at all.
Yeah, like, you think you can be friends. He's not going to be your friend no matter how many people you shoot. In fact,
that's
the
big
problem.
That's the big one.
Yeah,
she wants to be his friend, and she doesn't understand that the killing is a deal breaker.
That was something, if I could diverge.
Go ahead. Yeah,
what bugged me about The Last Master.
Oh, yeah, Sim?
Yeah, was that, like, the chemistry he had with Tennant was kind of like, I believed that, like, Tennant really would go up and leave in the TARDIS with him, even though he did just try to kill everyone. I don't believe that Capaldi's going to be like, okay, Missy, let's go on an adventure. Sure, okay, Missy, I'll handcuff you to the TARDIS console and you can show me where Gallifrey is. But not, let's adventure.
Yeah.
Party.
Capaldi's got more of a grip on it than Tennant did.
That was great for me. But advancing on, she's like, hey, So then turns out the doctor is partying down in medieval Europe, teaching them the word dude, having a rock concert, huge special effects. It's very cool.
Very unnecessary, and therefore, by virtue of being unnecessary, kind of charming.
Yep. It's very...
He could have just been somewhere.
Yeah, but like he could have been meditating, and I bet Matt Smith would have been like being isolated.
Yeah.
But this doctor is partying.
Partly, it doesn't seem to suit him.
That's kind of why I like it. Yeah. Because he seems, you see, in a way, you see that deep down he is someone who's going to party.
But also, you feel that something is wrong because he usually just wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Of course, he does have his goofy moments. That's one of his things.
Yeah.
But like to actually go into the past, teach them new words, mess with the timeline, bring tanks. Like this is him in peak I don't give a fuck mode. Yes, that's it.
So anyway, going on, I'm just diverging myself. He's partying, and then they show up, and he introduces them to medieval people, and then Snake Man shows up, and he's like, hey, oh yeah, there was mysterious, ominous stuff where the Snake Man existed earlier.
Yeah, but Snake Man is great.
And he was working for Davros.
Can we talk about Snake Man look?
Yeah.
Because he's got the...
Just in case we didn't specify earlier, it opened on the battlefield, a kid ran away, got trapped in a series of hand mines, which are like landmines, but they're hands, and they grab you and take you underground.
Less cheesy than it sounds. Actually, it's cheesy.
it's wonderfully cheesy. And the doctor shows up. He's like, "Hey, kid, you're not gonna die." Kid's like, "Okay, I'm not sure I believe you on that." The dog's like, "Yeah, you're not. Just believe you're not gonna die. Come on, what's your name?" Kid who's not gonna die. He's like, "I'm Davros." The doctor's like, "Oh, no!
There's only one person in the whole world.
One person ever was named Davros. The ancient prophecy that there would be one dude named Davros who would be a total dick." Nice.
Man, you gotta be, if that's a well-known prophecy, you gotta wonder what the parents were thinking.
They were the one family that didn't know it. But anyway, going on with...
So it's like, what? Davros, cold open?
Yeah, so back to medieval Europe, and then the snake dude shows up, and he's like, "I'm a snake dude.
So it comes apart into snakes. I love that effect.
Call me Sav."
I love that effect. There, in the second episode, there's some shots of the Snake Man that don't necessarily look so great when he's split up.
Yeah.
But in the first episode, and for most of the shots in general, it looks great when he splits apart. His face splits into multiple snakes.
Yep, looked awesome. So, he's like, "I'm the Snake Man, I'm taking you prisoner," and Missy and Clara are like, "We're also being prisoner." The doctor's like, "What? I did not. Shut up, we're being prisoner too. We're going to go," and they go away, and they fly away, and then they turn out. One thing leads to another. There's some really great scenes, which we don't need to recap specifically.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of, we don't need to tell you every second of the series, or else we'll be...
Probably they've seen it.
Yeah. Anyway, even if they didn't,
Yeah.
So then they're on Skaro, and then just basically, they're on Skaro, the doctor's talking to Davros, and Missy and Clara, the doctor thinks Missy and Clara get killed by Daleks, and Missy and Clara are trying to get to the doctor. Clara gets into Dalek.
Oh, yeah. That's a highlight.
It really is. So that's basically, I don't want to get too into, if you've just seen this and you don't mind spoilers, I don't want to tell you every second of the series. Because there's some good moments.
What's up?
Nothing, I'm just moving my arm. It happens sometimes.
So, thoughts on the whole?
I thought it was really good. I thought, especially the, I thought that one thing that really worked, the big problem for me was this was the one thing, was the gratuitous time loop thrown in at the end. Kind of to explain that Daleks know the word mercy, because the doctor explained to little kid Davros. Because the doctor...
It never occurred to me that was what was going on, because it doesn't make sense, because he still taught them whatever it was he wanted them to know, hypothetically.
Yeah, but...
I guess it makes a little
and
sense.
And he even called it a problem. He couldn't get rid of the concept of mercy.
But you'd think that he wasn't born... He never was a Dalek, obviously, and he wasn't born one. You'd think that he would be aware of the concept of mercy, regardless of the doctor.
Yeah, so he, So one of the things that Clara's in this.
You're right. That makes a lot more sense now that you've mentioned that. Again, I had trouble hearing sometimes, but yeah, he was like, "Oh, mercy! That gives me a brain spark. I gotta go back and say the word mercy, and also save him. This is what mercy looks like."
Yeah, the doctor's like, "Clara, you were." Oh, she was in the Dalek, and so she can only say things that Daleks could say.
Yeah, that one.
So the Dalek was like, "Mercy, mercy," and the doctor's like, "Oh my gosh, the Dalek said mercy. That proves that it's not really a Dalek."
Didn't the Dalek say mercy when River Song was about to shoot it?
Yeah, I guess he wasn't looking at the time.
Oh yeah, he didn't happen to notice, but it doesn't seem like a big deal for the audience.
But the doctor knowing or not knowing, that just seemed weird. That he's like, that asking for mercy, I get that, but being like, the Dalek can't know mercy, therefore something weird's going on, seemed dumb. That was my big problem. And also because Davros just earlier had explained that Daleks know the word mercy.
Yep.
He'd been like, the problem with these Daleks is that I taught them mercy accidentally and I can't unteach them it.
Maybe his thing was when he was when he said, "Oh wait, Daleks shouldn't know the word mercy," after Clara Dalek says mercy is just him having that brainwave thing where he connects old pieces of information.
Yeah.
Do the detective thing, if you will. Maybe that's what's
as
sort of
much
what's
as I
going
don't
on.
always like that. I feel like they should have done the like mercy and then flashback to the word mercy.
Maybe. Yeah.
But anyway, whatever it was like it seemed like a weird way that he realized she was not a Dalek because she said mercy, which I didn't think I feel like he should have gotten. He should have needed some other clue.
So about the Dalek suit or case, whatever.
Yeah.
So why does there need to be a big thing where the suit can only say certain words and express certain phrases if the Daleks themselves are already made to conform, like, in their thoughts? Wouldn't you just have a direct-to-voice, like...
Well, because the Daleks don't have mouths and the thoughts, so the way I see it is...
I guess they're just recordings then?
Imagine you're...
But then the Daleks have different voices.
Yeah, well... Imagine you've got you're doing a you're programming a language speaking thing or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
You'll only have to program in like this thought to speech thing, because a thought might not necessarily be word for word. You'll only have to transfer thought to speech the words that are in this person's language.
But she speaks aloud. She doesn't think it.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is she was speaking aloud because she has a mouth. So for her, thinking, say this, basically, would actually involve speaking. Because it's a significantly different...
Also because we want to see her speak it because that's better cinema. Or better,
it's thought speak. Animorphs.
Television.
Animorphs, yo. She's turning into an Andalite. That's going to be really useful for the future. She'll just have the tail blade. People will be like, go get Clark. She's like, shh. Next slice.
Speaking of missed opportunities for useful companions, we once again missed an opportunity for Clara to be a Dalek forever.
Yeah.
Because I was really excited after season 7 opener by the thought that maybe if Clara came back, she would be a Dalek. And the whole thing where they were like, this person, oh god, I can't remember the actress's name.
Jenna Louise Coleman.
Jenna Louise Coleman is going to be the next companion, and it's all a fake out. Because
I've wanted a Dalek companion for a long time, because for me, here's the thing, the Doctor in the recent show has made a big deal out of, like, the Doctor doesn't kill people.
Yeah.
But, like, I've seen the old show, he's willing to kill people, and I feel like there's times when you need to be able to be like, well, if I don't kill you, you will kill everyone else. You know, it's the no-win scenario comes up.
Which is what you do see new Doctor Who, like, killing villains all the time.
Yeah. Or like
more often, like, he'll leave them to explode or something. But you know,
they're
dead.
But yeah, like so he finds a way around it. But I feel like
he doesn't technically.
To me,
kill
I
them with
prefer.
his own hands.
I like the version of the Doctor who's willing to throw a guy into a vat of acid and make a witty one-liner and walk away. I should have been wearing that coat. He picks up his coat. She's like, "You'll forgive me if I don't join you."
This guy has a sixth Doctor coat.
Yeah.
You know, the ugly one.
It's gorgeous, man. That's what they said about Brummel. Now, the thing that, goes down, so, like, I feel like what's a bigger thing is compassion and saying, anyone could have good in them. And I feel like more than finding a way to not specifically personally kill someone, that would be a huge thing to have. Like, to show the Doctor being willing to forgive and actually take on a Dalek as his friend.
Mm-hmm. Presumably this would not be a kill-crazy Dalek. But they've screwed up, they've messed around with that quite a lot in the recent years. I mean, we have a good guy Dalek.
Yeah, Rusty.
Even has a great name.
Yeah. I'd love for Rusty to come back.
Just come back. Yeah.
Like, he can come back and be like K9. Except K9, if K9 was always looking for an excuse to shoot something.
I feel like the Doctor would insist they disable the gun.
But it would be like comedic sociopath type thing.
Yeah. And like, his thing would always be to threaten people with his gun, which doesn't work, to solve whatever problem's going on.
Yeah. But yeah, like I liked it except for that one thing. Other than that, this seemed like a very strong season opener.
Mm-hmm.
The Doctor wasn't being as much of an offhand dick to Clara as he was last season, which I really liked last season. Somehow.
Well, they weren't in the same room nearly as much.
Yeah, they spent like what 10 minutes together.
Maybe 7.
Yeah, and a large part of that was around Missy, where the Doctor would be being more affectionate, just to like be like, hey, this one is my friend. I just know you.
But that's actually reminded me, there were some things we talked about after the first episode that I forgot to talk about. Just sort of general things for Doctor Who. Like, you don't tend to get this kind of epic opening.
Yeah.
They haven't had one. I mean, obviously the closest you could think of was the last two-parter opening, the Possible Astronaut, which was cool and had some neat stuff.
Didn't have like it wasn't.
But it wasn't an epic. Yeah, it wasn't epic. Rather,
it wasn't an entire poem. It was a couplet.
Yeah, and it was more disjointed than this one by a long shot.
Yep. Yeah. So that was like, this was
what's with season openers where it's like the Doctor is saying that he's going to die for sure now? No, really, guys, this time he's going to die. Yeah.
I don't think anybody watching this really thought the Doctor was going to die. We're watching a show called Doctor Who.
How many times have they played that? Did you say they set it up with the Pandorica?
Kind of. They did that a lot.
Yeah, because
like he was Matt like,
Smith. Yeah.
Going to be dead now.
So like because there's the Pandorica and there's like we saw the exploding TARDIS. They set it up more slowly or like closer to the end, so it's not quite the same. But they did it. I'm just dying real quick. Pandorica, like they did it in season 6, obviously. Season 7 ended in that. And now they're doing, they did it for just the opening. I don't know, it's like, it's weird the trope keeps coming up. It's definitely less effective the more they do it.
Yeah, but like as I said, I don't think anyone really thought he was going to die.
Why didn't he leave his last will and testament the other times he thought he was going to die?
When he was legit trying, actually convinced that there was no other option. This time, as they make a point, the Doctor assumes he's going to win. Right, he's like, I better write a last will and testament and send it to my worst enemy. That's great. I loved how possessive Missy was of the Doctor. He's like, the Daleks, my worst enemy. Oh, they're your worst enemy.
Yeah, that was great.
My chopped liver. She was whimsically evil, and she kept that.
Okay, speaking of which, the second episode, the best part was her disdain for Clara, and they have the best, worst teamwork ever. which basically, is she's making the plans, she's doing everything, and Clara gets the unpleasant and possibly dangerous crap.
Yep.
All for herself.
Yeah, and she's got, there's the great exchanges, like, with the stick at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, she starts with the stick, and she's like, what's the sharp stick for? We need to go, in case we need to go hunting. What if there's nothing to hunt?
No, you screwed it up.
Yeah,
but yeah, the gist of it.
The gist is like, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
And then later
I love because she's hanging upside down, and at no point does she ever explain why. Because, I mean, like the joke where, if I can't catch anything, I'll go for you, would work fine without her being tied up.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, it just feels like she had her upside down for no reason.
Yep. And also,
that's special.
I really love the bit where, they would decide, so now, what do we do? She's like, so now what do we do? Because, we go rescue the Doctor. She's like, shame, I was getting a bit peckish. She shoves her down a sewer. She's like,
oh yeah.
How deep is that?
I love how obvious it is.
Yeah. And
Clara why did she look down?
Clara doesn't see it coming.
Yeah, Clara doesn't see it
Clara gets chained to, she's like, hey, look at this thing I'm obviously hiding from.
Yeah.
And Clara's like, oh, what is that thing? What do you... it's a intruder alert. There was just a lot of clever stuff.
Because every time that happens, you're like, oh, is this a betrayal? No, not really.
Yep. Until the end. Until the end, when Clara's in the Dalek, and she takes advantage of the Dalek.
Because there's also the time when she said, oh, I've got Clara Oswald, with her, she's saying to the other Daleks, with her, you can get the Doctor to do whatever you want. And she's like, I've got her trapped in a box or something, blah, blah, blah.
I'll give you her, gift wrapped.
Yeah.
Better yet, canned.
Yeah, there it is. The point is, for a moment I thought, is she actually betraying her now?
Yeah.
But no, it's not. It's just another way to make Clara uncomfortable.
Yep, and she does. This is another thing that really mattered. At the end, she does betray her.
Yep.
And
It's part of maintaining her evil integrity.
yeah, that's
As a
true.
writer, Moffat was trying to maintain her evil integrity.
Yeah, so she stays a bad guy because the whole time you're kind of expecting her to betray her, but if she never really betrayed her, we wouldn't really believe it when we see her come back and be like, I'm going to destroy the world because I'm Missy.
She's like, well, she's sort of, we're sort of like friends, kind of, and that really takes the wind out of those sails. But the crucial part, and here,
If I saw Missy again, I could believe she's the villain of the episode.
Yeah, the crucial thing is that we believed it was an interesting betrayal, and because where she tried to get the Doctor to shoot Clara and the Dalek because. She's like, oh, this Dalek killed Clara. No, for reals. Here's a gun. Kill
Here,
it.
shoot it, and Clara can say, I am a Dalek.
Because she can only
Daleks
say...
don't have a word for Clara Oswald.
Yeah.
I am a Dalek.
Which is, not necessarily a way to convince someone to not shoot you, to scream that you are a Dalek repeatedly.
And the Doctor, to his credit, did not jump right to she's Clara.
Yeah.
Or... need to look like he's about to go right for her. Like, it took a few seconds of, why is the Dalek going, I am a Dalek, I am a Dalek, I am a Dalek?
Even for Daleks, that's a little bit weird.
And the fact that the Dalek points the gun away and says, I am your enemy?
Yeah.
That was weird. Why would a Dalek do that?
Oh, yeah, but, quickly wrapping up my thought, it's that particular betrayal was rich enough in twisted, it was a twisted thing to try to do, and I believe that she would not betray Clara before that point, even though it probably would have been just as well for her for all other purposes. She did not betray Clara before that point because she wanted to betray her in this way.
Yeah, and here's another thing that really in the beginning. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. There was something from the first episode.
Oh, was it related to... No, it wasn't related to Clara, obviously. Davros?
No, Davros was good in this. I liked Davros in this. There was one other minor nitpick which I didn't like, that we saw the cables were now Colony Sav.
Colony Sav?
The Snake Man.
Oh yeah, what's with that?
Like the snake was, so the Doctor was going to regenerate Davros just a tiny bit so he could see the sunrise.
Yeah.
And the snake attached him to the cables by hugging him to a cable.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what was happening.
So we need to see that the snake was a cable, but I could have, this whole time, every time I've seen those cables, I was like, is he just surrounded by Colony Sav? Like when
Is that the name of the creature?
Yeah, Colony Sav.
So they're an old creature.
Well, it's a I don't know if it's necessarily, no, it's just he's called that a lot.
Oh, I just didn't hear it.
Took me a few times, but he keeps being referred to as Sav.
It comes down to the mumbliness and the bad mix, or all right.
But the first episode had something I wanted to comment on, which I really wish I'd remembered, or
we'll just talk about Clara Dalek for a bit, and you'll get back.
Oh yeah, the Clara Dalek was great.
So it was a good moment for her, and just independently of character, it's a tense moment when you're trying to communicate and you can't communicate because you're trapped in this little box and everything comes out wrong. And I don't know, maybe it's something interesting to say about forms of expression that aren't necessarily very good for communication.
Yep, another thing that worked, I think, was even though the first episode was basically set up for this episode, it was really entertaining story anyway. Good, cool stuff happened. If I can't remember what it was, it can't have been that important. Let's go with that.
Okay. Just put a little note at the bottom, which whatever it was later.
Yep. So I guess
Possibly right here.
it'd be really funny if I never find that.
You never find it, just
right.
blank space.
Here's what Matt was thinking. Right here, and it's just a phrase like it says. I still don't.
But yeah. So Davros. So you've seen tons of Davros's.
I mean, he doesn't have like a million appearances.
How many? What are there? 4?
I think probably 3 or 4. Like, because he first appeared.
They used him sparingly. I
They
respect
did.
that.
They did, and like, yeah, he was not. Well, they didn't really overuse a lot of stuff in the original series.
Daleks.
Oh, they overused. There were times where it was like for a season or 2, you'll just see $1 million, and the next season you'll see 1 million Cybermen.
Yep.
But they were always like, let's try to come up with a new enemy, and if it's cool, then we can add this to the roster. I feel like a lot of the times they don't necessarily have that idea when they make these more recent episodes.
No, there haven't been super great additions. Like, you've got Moffat's Spooky Men, and some of them are better than others. And Spooky Men being my term for the sort of generically creepy, strangely, and similarly dressed people.
Yeah.
Like, the Silence, the Whisper Men, those weird dudes.
Yeah.
Which in the Rings of Akaten, there's sort of that thing of these weird, silent
Mystery men.
Like,
Who are
none of
very
those
well
really
dressed.
stick. The silent sort of stick, but they're always the Moffat gimmick too. In a weird way, it weakens their staying power.
Well, they're being involved with the rest of the Silence being just like these cultists or like confessors or whatever, I thought was a problem. Because it means that they can't come back. Like, if they were a mercenary group, another thing where they show up and do something else. But they were based largely on a gimmick, and I feel like a lot of other aliens in Doctor Who have not been a gimmick alien, especially in the old series.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you've got...
You can summarize the Daleks if you want, but
Yeah,
it's
like,
not really enough.
You've got what TV shows would call the Planet of the Hats, and their hat is this or their hat is that. But they don't have, like, this is the one, basically the 1 or 2 stories you can tell with this character. Like, the angels have, what else can you do with an angel? It'll sneak up on you and go boo.
Yeah, they're sort of done with the angels. But, then again, it's been so far, 5 episodes with angels in them?
Yep.
And so, and it's not a good idea, because they don't necessarily lend themselves well to it.
Yeah. Let's
Davros was what we were talking about.
Oh yeah, I was going to say let's try to, wrap up at some point.
Oh, sure. I just want to say, Davros was being sad and all, and it was partly because it was hard to hear those scenes. It's sort of, I wasn't necessarily that patient with it. I wasn't sure why they had this relationship. So when Davros went, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yes, he's evil instead.
Yeah.
And that was strangely relief, and also his goofy plan to suck out the Doctor's life energy.
And
it's exactly what I want.
There's a prophecy that there will be a hybrid of 2 powerful warrior races that the Doctor was running from is the theory of Davros that he has. And this whole scene, he's trying to get the Doctor to admit it or something, but like...
Yeah.
There was a really bad line that I thought was really good, which was like... Yeah, it was a problem having Capaldi and Davros in one scene, because they're both mumbling at each other. But yeah, like, it was very... like the scene where he's like, I'm dying, can't you see that? No. Then we have established one thing. You are not a very good doctor. That was a good line, but...
And then they laugh, because of course they laugh. And I really hope Davros's laugh was truly genuine.
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
I think it is. And that makes it so much more satisfying. Doesn't matter that he's going to, kill the Doctor.
Yep, so is there anything else you'd want to say?
No, nothing important.
Alright, ending on a high note, I think it was a really entertaining episode.
It was a great way to get into the new season. Go ahead.
It was a huge start, very epic. It felt like there were stakes, including the companion and the Doctor, not just like nothing's going to happen to these guys.
Yeah. And I loved last season, and if they go into it this well, I have lots of confidence. Those are my thoughts.
Looks like we're about to see a Base Under Siege episode next story too.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited.
I love Base
Under Siege with ghosts, which you think would probably ruin the formula, but you never know. Everything about that next time
you love the Base Under Siege. Yeah.
was calibrated to get me excited because it has ghosts and they're spooky and they're axes and Base Under Siege underwater this time.
Yeah.
And I love underwater bases. I just got Soma. I think that game's going to be good.
All right. See you next time. Bye.
I can't believe I signed off with Soma.